Hi, and welcome to the Debt Tracker tutorial. In this video, I will show you how to set up and use your ultimate debt dashboard spreadsheet in the most efficient way. In this video, I am using Google Sheets, but the Excel version is exactly the same. First, we protect most of the cells that contain formulas to make sure you don't erase any important formulas that could impact the spreadsheet. So, if you see this message, it means you are not supposed to touch it. But don't worry, I will show you step by step how to prepare your spreadsheet. If you accidentally touch a cell and see this message, you can simply click on Cancel or the X and you will be fine. Moreover, we have established a color code to show you which cells can be edited and which cannot. So basically, you can only edit the cells that have a white background. Another warning, please do not move a cell from one place to another. If you move a cell, it could create issues by disrupting the automation of the spreadsheet. The best way to avoid these errors is simply to copy and paste your data. The first tab is the Setup tab. In this tab, you will enter all the information needed for the spreadsheet to function properly. Here you will find several tables that are essential for configuring the rest of the spreadsheet. The first step is to set up your currency symbol. By default, it is set to the $sign, but you can change it to any symbol you prefer, such as euro, sterling, and so on. Once updated, the entire spreadsheet will automatically adjust to reflect your selected currency. Next, you can define the start date of the spreadsheet by entering the year and selecting the month. Normally, this should correspond to the date when you begin using the spreadsheet, but you may also choose a date in the past if you want to track previous data. In step 3, you will define all your debts. Each column includes a collapsible instruction section to guide you through the process. So, if you click on the plus or minus and see this message, it is the only time when you can click on OK. For each debt, you will be able to enter the following information: the debt name, for example, credit card, student loan, or car loan; the initial balance, which is the original amount owed when the debt was first created and does not change over time; the starting balance, which is the amount you owe at the moment you start using the spreadsheet and is typically lower than or equal to the initial balance; the annual interest rate; the credit limit, which is used to calculate your credit utilization rate; and finally, the monthly minimum payment. You can log up to 50 debts in this table. By default, the first 20 are visible. To access the additional ones, simply click on the plus icon on the left-hand side margin. Finally, you will find a section called Compare Debt Strategies, which includes 3 columns allowing you to easily compare different debt repayment strategies. The first one is the snowball method. The snowball method focuses on paying off debts with the lowest balance first, then progressing to larger balances. Once a debt is fully paid, the money that was previously allocated to that debt is applied to the next one, creating a snowball effect that accelerates repayments. Then you have the avalanche method. With the avalanche method, debts are prioritized based on their interest rates. You continue making the minimum payments on all debts while directing any extra money toward the debt with the highest interest rate. This method helps minimize the total interest paid over time. Then finally, you have the custom method. If you prefer to decide the repayment order yourself, you can select the custom option. In this case, debts will be analyzed and repaid in the exact order they appear in the table above. So, as you can see, the Compare Debt strategy is basically a summary of the next 3 tabs, all summarized here. This way, you can easily compare which strategy is best for you. At the top of the tab, you will also find a small table to easily access each section of this tab. Once the Setup tab is completed, you can open the strategy that best fits your needs. Let's start with the debt snowball method. First, you can enter an extra monthly payment that you would like to allocate toward your debts. This additional amount will automatically be applied each month to the first debt in the repayment order. Next, you will see 2 charts displaying your initial debt balance and the projected balance over time, along with a summary table. Your debts are also organized by starting balance from the lowest to the highest. In this example, the credit card 2 debt would be the first to work on, because the starting balance is the smallest one. Beside this, you will find a section called Overview, which summarizes all your debts. In this section, you can also add a one-time extra payment using the plus or minus column. These additional payments will also be applied directly to the first debt scheduled to be paid. Right next to the Overview section, you will find a separate table for each debt. The first table corresponds to the first debt to be paid, followed by the others in order. Each table shows the monthly payment, the interest charge, and the remaining balance at the end of the month. In this tab, all balances and charges are automatically updated at the beginning of each month, assuming that all scheduled payments from previous months have been completed. Payments from past months are automatically marked with a strike through in the table. So, as an example, today we are May 1st. So, as you can see here, only the month of April is strike through, and the row right below, which is May, will be strike through on June 1st. Then the debt avalanche method is the second strategy you can choose. I will not go into detail for this tab because it is very similar to the debt snowball tab. The main difference is that your debts are organized by interest rate, with the highest interest rate prioritized first. So, as you can see here, we have the credit card from JP Morgan at 23% interest rate. So, it's the first one to tackle. The last method available is the custom method. With this option, you can organize your debts in any order you prefer and decide how much you want to pay toward each debt. Because it does not automatically prioritize debts based on balance or interest rate, this method may be less efficient than the snowball or avalanche strategies. The layout of this tab is slightly different, as it includes a section at the top dedicated to credit score monitoring. If tracking your credit utilization rate is not important to you, you can simply hide this section by clicking on the small minus icon on the left-hand margin. In this section, you will be able to define your credit utilization target. The spreadsheet will then automatically calculate your current utilization for each debt, as well as provide an overall summary of your credit utilization. Each debt includes a summary table at the top showing your credit limit, amount paid, current balance, available credit, target balance, and the current credit utilization rate. All this information is also illustrated in a small bar chart below the table. The red line represents your target utilization rate, while the green bar shows your current utilization. If the green bar ends before the red line, it means you are below your target. If it extends beyond the red line, it means your utilization is above your target. The rest of the tab is very similar to the debt avalanche and debt snowball tabs. The main difference is that you can assign extra payments to any debt you choose, using the plus or minus column. You can also mark a debt as paid off using the checkboxes, which will automatically update the charts and remaining balances. On one final important note, you cannot switch from strategy to strategy. This means that if you decide to start using the debt snowball method, you need to stick to it. You cannot change from snowball to avalanche to custom and then come back to snowball. So at the beginning, make sure to choose the right strategy for your needs. Then you have the monthly view. The monthly view tab provides a clear overview of a specific month, as well as a general summary of your overall progress. The first step is to select the month and the year you would like to view, along with the debt repayment strategy you want to analyze. Once these selections are made, the rest of the tab is fully automated. It will display your overall progress, your progress for the selected month, and a detailed breakdown of payments for each debt. Finally, the last tab of the spreadsheet is the debt repayment calculator. This tab is not designed for tracking your current debts, but rather to help you plan a potential future debt. It allows you to easily calculate either the monthly payment required or the time needed to repay a debt. To use this calculator, start by defining the start date by entering the year and selecting the month. If you are unsure when the payments will begin, you can simply use today's date. Next, enter the total debt amount and the estimated interest rate. Once these fields are completed, the main setup is done. After that, select whether you want to calculate the monthly payment or the repayment duration. Depending on your selection, you will then be able to enter either the monthly payment amount or the number of months for the repayment period. The rest of the tab is fully automated, including the charts and the calculation tables. A summary table is also available at the top right corner of the tab, providing a quick overview of the repayment details. So, that's it. I hope this tutorial helps you easily set up your spreadsheet. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or concerns.